Hey there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for another video. Today I'm going to be using products from Simon Says Stamp's new Sugar and Spice release, and I'm also participating in their release blog hop. So today we are celebrating the collection, and there are many designers participating in this blog hop as well. So you've got loads of inspiration at your fingertips today to be able to inspire you to create for the holiday season and beyond. As part of the blog hop, Simon Says Stamp also has a free gift offer. So any purchase of Simon Says Stamp Sugar and Spice collection products will automatically receive this brand new Warm Thoughts 3x4 stamp set, which is darling. I love this little snowman mailing an envelope. It's so sweet and perfect, not just for Christmas, but also into the winter season as well. But speaking of Christmas, that's the theme of today's card project. I don't know about you, but I love a good gingerbread die set. And when I saw the new iced cookies and gingerbread house fun die sets, I couldn't wait to pair these together to create a card. There's also a brand new die called Fancy Joy and Cheer, which I designed for the Sugar and Spice release. I'm really excited to share that with you too. So let's take a look at the products that we'll be using today to create the 5x7 card that I have in store. So this is the iced cookies set. How cute is that little gingerbread man? And I love the little tree and stocking images too. So there are two dies that make up this set. One is for the base layer of the cookies, and then you've got the icing. For the base layer, I'm just going to cut these from some white cardstock so that I can do a bit of ink blending over them to color in the images. You could cut these from some plain brown cardstock to make your process a lot easier if you're trying to make a whole bunch of these or you're just not into the ink blending. But these images are adorable and could be used on their own as is. But we're going to step them up and create some really cool icing details using some white glossy cardstock. White glossy cardstock is a great staple to have for adding a nice shine to your die cuts, or in this case, we're going to utilize it to make the icing look more realistic. So I'm going to set the icing aside because we don't need those right now, but we do need to color in our base layers. In addition to cutting the iced cookies, I'm also going to use the Gingerbread House Fun die set, and I'm going to cut not only the base layers from some white cardstock, but then we'll also cut any of the icing elements from the white glossy as well. So we can color all of these pieces, and then any of the areas that are going to be the icing, those will all be the finishing touches in the white glossy. And as I assemble everything, I'll show you all of these pieces. To color in my cookies, I'm going to fittingly use this collection of inks from Simon Says Stamp's Positively Saturated Ink collection, starting with Cookie itself. Cookie is the lightest color of this trio, and it's a great base color for the cookies. But I love to have a very warm and toasty cookie, so I'm going to definitely add in some additional layers with the next two shades. The medium tone is Gingerbread. I'm going to utilize a smaller blending brush for this so that way I can maintain a little bit more control with how much ink I'm putting down, because I still want to make sure you can see that cookie color as the lightest. So now that we have a little bit of shading added to these cookies, we're going to just toast up the edges just a little bit to give them that golden brown finish. And for this, I'm using a very small blending brush and the darkest shade of ink, which is Cocoa. I'm working on top of my Positively Perfect craft tacky mat, just so that way my die cuts aren't shifting too much as I'm coloring, which is helping me not get fingerprints on my ink blending. And I'm being very careful with this application of ink because I don't want to make the cookies look like they have been burned. I just want the edges a little toasty. And this looks dark right now, but this will dry back and look perfect once the ink has had a chance to absorb into the paper. Now for some of the other elements, these are from the Gingerbread House Fun set. I'm going to color these with a few other shades of ink. I've got apple and cranberry for the icing pipette. And I made sure to, again, utilize smaller blending brushes to help me maintain my control of how much ink I'm putting down, especially once I get to the shading. I don't want to overwhelm my pieces with too much of the darker colors. When it came to the mixing bowl, I brought in eucalyptus and colored that with a nice base color of green. Then I came in with Juniper for a little bit of darker shading, so that way the bowl would have a little bit of depth. And we also have that base layer of the bowl, so that'll get layered underneath of this detail layer that'll sit on top, so we'll have some nice contrast. For the spoon, I decided to go with a teal color instead of brown. I know it's a wooden spoon, but I think a nice pop of teal was required here just to give a little bit of variation to the colors. And I used that same teal for the mug. This teal happens to be Mist, which is a nice mid-tone teal color. Finally, I need to add the tip to my icing pipette, and for that I used Earl, which is a perfect neutral shade of gray. Time to assemble all these fun pieces. So we have our cookies here. This is from the Iced Cookie Collection. And I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue and a silicone basting brush that I've cut the tips off of, so it's pretty short. And this is going to help me apply a very small amount of glue to these delicate die cuts. I did not invent this technique. This is a technique that I learned from Kathy Zilski, who learned it from somebody else. But it's such a great way to get a nice even coat of glue across these very delicate die cuts. So whoever did invent this technique, bravo. I love it. It's super handy and helpful. So I'm just using my tweezers to help me pick up these little pieces that are now covered in the craft glue. And this glue, by the way, will wipe off of the mat that I'm using, which is a Tim Holtz grip mat. And it will also clean off of my brush as well, so everything cleans up with a little bit of soap and water real easily. But look how quickly I was able to assemble these cute little cookies, and the icing detail being cut from the white glossy cardstock is what makes these cookies look so realistic and fun. Plus we have that great shading too, which really gives them that nice warm and toasty finish. Alright, so now I'm going to assemble the rest of my accessories here. These are the ones from the Gingerbread House Fun. This little detail piece goes on top of the base of the mixing bowl. And then I also need to glue the tip of my icing pipette to the bag itself. Next up, I brought in the icing pieces for the gingerbread house. These I also cut from that white glossy cardstock, so that way they matched the same details of our other iced cookies. The gingerbread house has two pieces that make up the icing. One is for the roof, and then there's also this cute little scallop piece that goes along the bottom for a nice piece of trim. There is also some whipped cream for the mug. You've got to have whipped cream with your hot cocoa, right? So this is also cut from that white glossy cardstock. Again, just trying to keep all of these accessories cut from that white glossy to help tie everything together. Speaking of tying everything together, the sentiment is also going to get cut from white glossy. So this is the Fancy Joy and Cheer. I'm going to cut it from white glossy so that way it looks like that the icing pipette created this sentiment. It just ties all of these fun details together and makes the design very cohesive. Now the base layer of my sentiment is going to get cut from some red cardstock, which will add a nice pop of color. I do want to add a little dimension to my sentiment, so I'm going to also cut the Fancy Joy and Cheer sentiment from some plain white cardstock that will allow me to layer up underneath of the glossy piece. So that way when I put this down onto my shadow layer, it'll just have a slight bit of dimension off of that red cardstock, giving the sentiment a little bit more of an embellished look. And utilizing that silicone brush trick to apply the glue made this process really quick and easy. Simon Says Stamp sells these silicone brushes, and you just cut the tips of the brush down so that way it's nice and short, and it makes it easy to control how much glue you're putting down onto your pieces. So I have my sentiment all assembled and ready to go on top of the card. We just need to create the background. So I'm going to bring in some of that red ink that we used earlier, and I'm going to create a soft blended background that I can go ahead and use as the backdrop for the scene. I'm also utilizing this fan brush from Pink Fresh Studios, which is such a great brush for creating large backgrounds and something that you want to have a soft finish with. I have other blending brushes that are great for applying a lot of ink all at once, but sometimes you want to go a little softer and have more of a faded look, and that's what these brushes are so good for. And you can build up the color with them too, but I really do find them helpful for creating more of a softer wash. So I created that wash of color with rhubarb ink, And then I'm going to come back in with one of my standard blending brushes, and because I want more concentrated amounts of color applied through my stencil here, this is where that brush is such a great piece to use. So this is the Random Dots and Stars stencil from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to use this to help create a little bit of a scattered background, which is going to look really nice as a nice backdrop behind my pieces. And using that same rhubarb ink, it's giving me a nice tone on top of this background here, which makes it very subtle. I'm going to switch over to the stars now and intersperse them among the dots. Half of this stencil is dots and the other half is stars, which is really fun because you can either use them on their own or mix them together. For the stars, however, I'm going to use paste, and I've brought in this sparkle gel from Gina K Designs. I love this shimmery paste. It's so pretty. It does pick up the ink that's underneath, at least for the positively saturated inks, because they are somewhat reactive. So that's going to give me a really cool effect once this dries. The stars aren't super noticeable in the end, but it does add a little bit of sparkle to the background, which just happens to catch the light really pretty in the finished card. So even though you may not notice them that much, I'm glad I still went through the trouble of adding them. Once that dried, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling my pieces, starting first with the sentiment, because this is going in the middle. It's going to anchor my entire design. This is popped up with 3D foam squares, but then I'm going to switch over to thin foam squares to attach all of my other pieces. The thin foam squares are going to vary up the depth here of my overall design, and having different layers of dimension really adds interest to the project. Now, as I'm putting these down, I am not pressing them firmly onto my project because I want to make sure I can maneuver them around and change the placement if I need to. I'm trying to decide where all of these pieces are going, and so I don't want to commit right away. Once I know generally that I'm happy with the design, then I can start pressing things down firmly and committing to their final placement. And the only thing that I didn't pop up on this entire project is the little spoon, just because it's so delicate. Now, I didn't catch all of the assembly of my embellishments on camera, so I'm just going to explain real quick what I did here. I added a scattering of brand new gold star embellishments to my project from the Simon Says Stamp Sugar and Spice release. And then I also mixed in a few of the dazzling gems in the cherry red color, which are the perfect little finishing touch and tie in all of the red elements nicely. So those little embellishments are just tucked around my main pieces here. This is going to get put onto a piece of gold cardstock to matte up the edges and give a nice little bit of framing. You could cut the center portion of this out so that way you don't waste the middle portion of the cardstock, but I didn't bother here. I just glued it directly onto the gold cardstock, and then this is going to get attached to a card base that I made from some sea glass cardstock. This sea glass cardstock is cut to be a 5x7 card, and I love using 5x7 cards as a layout for cards that I want to include a bunch of images. I have a lot more real estate to work with, and so for this design, a 5x7 just made sense. Look at how fun these pieces are. The glossy cardstock catches the light and adds such a wonderful dimension to these cookies. I love them. Then combined with the sentiment, having the same white glossy cardstock, it really ties the whole design together. And I think this card truly captures the joy and excitement of baking Christmas cookies during the holiday season. Even if you aren't using the dies that I've used today, using a white glossy cardstock to add a nice finish to a project really elevates the look of the final design. Instead of just a standard white cardstock, which is beautiful unto itself, the white glossy is a step up. And especially when you're creating something that's the focal point and story of your card, using the white glossy just really makes sense and elevates your design to a new level. So I hope you were inspired by this project. I had a lot of fun making it. It's just a card full of joy. And I'm so glad that you stopped by and spent some time with me today. So thank you so much. But I hope you will go and check out the rest of the blog hop, because I always find blog hops so inspiring. Every blog hop that Simon Says Stamp has, I go through and I see all of the cards and projects that everybody creates using the new release. It's just so much fun, and it gives you so many ideas, Even if you aren't using the same products that they're using, there's a lot of great ideas that you can gain from all of the inspiration that's being shared. So I hope you'll check it out and enjoy. Grab a cup of coffee or a hot cup of cocoa and enjoy the inspiring content. I'll be back very soon with more to share. Thanks for joining me today, friends. And I hope until next time that you all have a wonderful day.